Alrighty, so as you're gonna see in the video, the light is going to be dying and the other one is charging. But I guess this video is going to be my honest thoughts about Kilo, since I basically give my honest thoughts about Kilo throughout this video. So make sure you guys like and subscribe if you enjoy it. Let me know your thoughts after I give my thoughts, and I'll see you guys next one. The Crown on my thoughts, my honest thoughts about Crown will be coming out sometime in the future, so don't worry, wait for that too as well. Alrighty, YouTube, so Pridewin ended up putting out the rankings for Kilo. I know they ended up doing it for Crown 2, and I didn't react to that one or make a video on it because we already knew she was going to be Triple S. You did not need me to read their website to tell you she was going to be Triple S. But Kilo, they put out the rankings for Kilo, and I'm surprised. Not really, but I am, because let's talk about it. So for their ranking, they gave Kilo A in high deficit, S in low deficit, C in boss solos, A in boss ads, and SS in PvP. Now, PvP, understandable, right? Kilo is a character who does do very, very, very big damage. She does do very, very big damage, right, on her AoE, right? And if I could pull up the character herself, let me just show you guys why, right? The reason why is obviously because, you know, it deals 1000% of attack, which is calculated for 5% of max HP, and she's a defender. She's just gonna hit very, very hard because, again, it what's it called? It's calculated for 5% of the final max HP, not even just like your max HP, but the final max HP. Now, the thing about Kilo is, I'm not putting Kilo on my team as an older player. I'm not putting Kilo on my team because she can do her burst skill, right? Her burst skill does damage, but not a good enough damage, I feel like, overall in like the story. Let me not talk about PvP because she does great in PvP. I feel like in story, unless you are fully investing into the character, which we shouldn't take away from her, right? I shouldn't say, oh, should be ranked lower or ranked higher depending on if you build the character or not, right? Because at the end of the day, every character should realistically be built, right? At the end of the day, you're going to build up every character that you decide to use. So I shouldn't say Kilo is a S tier character, and she's only SS if you decide to build her, right? Let's take a look at the character and base the character off what the character does. Now, there's no question this character's entire kit, the entirety of her kit is to provide a shield, right? But the thing is, Kilo protects herself, and I am not putting Kilo on the team to do the damage, right? If it's a burst skill every 40 seconds, I'm not putting her on my team so that she can do damage every 40 seconds, and then everything, like that whole 40 seconds, she's not doing anything until she uses her burst skill. Me personally, I'm not doing that. I know my light is dying. Let me turn it up for you guys, right? I'm not doing that. It makes no sense for me to put her on the team for that reason only. Every 40 seconds to do that damage, right? Doesn't really make sense for me. But why I would put her on the team is for the shield. Now, the problem with her shield is that she's protecting herself, and I don't understand why I would want to put Kilo on my team to protect herself, right? You don't put Senti on the team to protect Senti. You don't put Crown on, well, Crown buffs of everybody. You don't put Polly on the team to protect Polly. You put these characters on the team because they have shields that can protect the entire team, right? Kilo, it's not the same thing. She literally has a shield to protect herself, and it's like, it would be different if like this burst skill was just that broken where like anytime you used it, you are goddamn nuking anybody, whether it's a boss, whether it's mobs, yada yada yada, right? Let me get my lighting. I don't think that helped much, but it's fine. But you're not putting her on the team for like damage, you know what I mean? You're just not. You're putting her on the team for her shield mechanics, and it's just not that useful. So when it comes to S in low deficit, which is early game, that makes sense, right? She does do big damage regardless. So early stages, it doesn't matter. She's gonna kill no matter what. If you have the shield, if you don't have the shield, she's gonna kill when you use her burst skill if you have the shield, right? In early game, for new players, yes, Kilo is literally good, right? If you don't even have anybody else to put on, you're forced to put on Kilo on your team because she's someone that you could get dupes of early on. And not only that, she is a SSR with SSR stats. As a new player, you don't start the game with 5 SSRs, right? You don't. So having Kilo as the SSR who can do good damage on the AoE, of course, Kilo is going to be, you know, pretty good early on. Now, later on, again, high deficit, A ranking is fine. I probably would have put the character in B or C myself, just because of what we're looking at when it comes down to this character. Even if we read the pros and cons, right? Most of these pros are about PvP, not even about the character in terms of what the character is meant to do, which is there's no question this entire kit, this character's kit, is about having a shield on her to protect herself, right? That's the whole point of this character, the shield. But this whole cons here, or the pros here, are all about the PvP, and then I guess the cons here are about what the character is meant for, the shields, right? So let's read some of these. High burst AoE damage, highly usable for PvP and wave clearing. She is pretty good for mob clearing. Again, I think more early on in the game than later on in the game, right? Has a thick shield that should protect our Kilo from being one-shotted, right? And then that's where I kind of find a problem as well, that the shield only protects Kilo when you have 4 other people on the team as well, and no taunt mechanic is like, come on, right? Having defender stats means she won't be targeted by a lot of skills in PvP. Rosanna skill 1, for example. Sure, that's fine, right? Again, PvP. Uses unique buffers like noise to buffer DPS, great for PvP synergy. Again, PvP. Due to defender stats, she can tank through unbuffed AoE nukes in high synced PvP. Again, PvP. Kilo is cute, right? And then the cons, takes like 60% of the visual field. Well, this is nothing, bro. That's fine, right? It is a problem, but like it's not like that big of a deal, right? Relies heavily on having the shield to deal damage, which I don't think is a problem. I think this character will have a shield 1,000,000%. So this is definitely a con, because you do rely on a shield. And because this character does not have taunts, and because this character will most likely just always have a shield, I don't really think that's a problem. If this character had a taunt, then I would feel like that right there could be a con. But because the character doesn't really have taunt, I don't find that to be as big of a problem as it would be if she was to have taunt, right? As a result of the previous point, she actually hates being focused. If the shield's broken, she deals 0 damage for the next 40 seconds. Literally, right? Which again, it could be worse if she did have taunt, but if she did have taunt, they would make the character better. It's so weird how that works, but it is the case. If she had taunt, she would be much better, but if she did have taunt, then all these points would be a lot worse, right? Very selfish Nikke. Although wearing her big shield, she won't taunt and she won't protect any teammates. And this is the biggest con right here, I feel like, because again, I'm not putting her on the team unless it's in PvP, sure, where you're fighting regular Nikkes, or unless it's in, you know, story, early story, where it doesn't even matter. Little intermission there, I don't even know where I was. But like I was saying, I think I was on this point. The character, you're putting her on the team for the shield. I know I'm getting so dark, I'm sorry. The light, I didn't charge it, I'm cheap, I'm sorry. But you're putting her on the team for this shield. Early on, you could put her on for AoE damage. PvP, you're fighting regular in the case, you could put her on for the AoE damage. High story, early story, late story, unless you have overload gear and level 10 on everything, you're not using her because she's not going to do enough damage. I don't feel like, at least, right? That is just a theory. I have not tested it, so I'm not going to make that a full-blown claim. That's just an assumption and also a theory. I have not tested that because I'm not going to fully level up Kilo. No point for me to do that, at least not right now, right? And then boss solo C's make sense. This character cannot do anything in a one-on-one situation against a boss, right? Boss ads being A is just because of the mobs. Again, I feel like in boss ads, right, mobs are very, very weak, so that's fine. Usually the mobs are very, very weak, so she should be able to handle that. So I feel like PvP is fine. Boss ads, A ranking is fine. I feel like solos is fine. Maybe just the high deficit. That's probably the only thing I would change, right? Because when you're looking at these rankings, these are all based on nothing but her burst skill, right? And the burst skill is only going to do damage if you have the shield. But again, because no taunt, even though that would be better, it's not really a problem, or not as big as a problem if she was to have a shield, like I said multiple times, right? Let me continue. Her shield also doesn't cover all 5 units, only herself, which is technically the same thing as this. So, I mean, this is, yeah, these are what? That's basically the same thing, right? In most situations, her skill 1 and skill 2 do nothing. And it's like, then what's the point, right? Like her burst skill, where it's like only in PvP. I don't know what like Pridewin was considering, and let me know if you guys agree or disagree. It's okay if you do, right? But this is just like my little notion on this stuff, right? what are we considering when it comes to this character? Are we considering her insane numbers that she can do against weak enemies? Or are we considering what she's meant to do, which is be a actual defender, the shield and stuff like that, right? The whole point of her kit is to have a shield. If she does not have a shield, then the whole point is that she will get a shield. Literally, you read her skill 1. Where is her skill 1? You read her skill 1. When using her burst skill and there is no shield, she will give herself a shield. When using her burst skill and there's no shield, she will you know, increase the number of her shield so that it doesn't go away. So the whole point is she has a shield, but then if she uses her burst skill and she doesn't have a shield, she's just gonna get back the shield, but Nikke is making it that the shield is stronger, so you don't have to worry about it going away no more, right? And then if you use her burst skill and you do not have a shield, guess what? You just increase your max HP. And it's like, what am I increasing the max HP for, when maybe if they should have made it that the normal attack scales off HP. That would make the character very good, right? Make it that the character scaled off of HP. That would be broken though. But 48% for 20 seconds if you didn't have the shield increased, and then this scaled off of HP, you would see some numbers really going with this character. But if the whole thing is the shield and the burst skill is gonna do good damage against weak mobs, I'm not sure why you're going to use her unless you're literally new and you have no other choice but to use her. You know what I mean? She is a defender, so her DPS outside of her AoE burst is not worth mentioning at all. Okay. MG unit, which means she can be countered in PvP quite effectively by using Scarlet or Jackal. Sure. Low burst generation, we can't see Kilo in battle, right? So these are just the little things that I'm not like. Let's see to some of these teams, right? Missileless Tribe Tower. Oh, Missileless Tower. That's another good place, actually. That's where really you will see this character do something, because we don't have that many good DPSs in this game for Missileless, right? When it comes to Missileless DPS, we only have like 3, and that's not even like an exaggeration, that's just a fact. You only have Maxwell, who's really just porting, but she's a DPS as well. You have Laplace, then you have Drake, and then that's it. Epenel is okay in tower, but I'm not using her unless I have to. Julia, and then like Kilo's probably like now the best character after Maxwell in the tower when it comes to like nuking with her AoE, right? It depends on obviously how you are in the tower, but usually she should do something in the tower. So besides that, I don't know, right? I kind of actually, like, now going over all of it, I would say I agree with PvP, agree with boss ads, agree with boss. Maybe this is all, but it's not that big of a deal. If they want an A, that's fine. Like, I'm not saying it should not be A or whatever, but I mean, I'm saying I think they would be C or B, but what are we considering when we come to this character, right? I don't know. I think it's valid. I still think the character is quite mediocre, because all she needed was taunt or damage reduction. Again, you're not putting her on the team for her DPS unless you're fighting in PvP. That's it, right? If I'm a new player, if I'm an old player, you can bet your ass you're not putting her on the team. But again, like I said before, me not putting her on the team because there's better characters should not affect the actual rating. That's why I'm saying A should be fine. Maybe that's why I'm saying, now that I'm really thinking about it, that's probably why I'm saying she's B or C. So let me be fair here. This is actually accurate, right? Let me be fair. I'm probably saying she's B or C because as an older player, you're not going to be using her. But like I just said, that should not be a reason why you're lowering or hiring a character's rank, which is not what they're doing. That's what I'm doing personally. So let me correct myself there, right? So overall, just want to clear it up for people, kind of, or at least give my opinion on it, because at the end of the day, this is just my opinion. Some of you guys are probably going to come in here and like be like, yeah, maybe Zxous is right here, or maybe you guys are going to be like, nah, Pridone is still 1,000,000% correct here, right? And I don't think the rankings are wrong as well. I just want to give more clarification on the character Kilo herself, right? I do not think Kilo is a character you are going to be using for her DPS unless you are in PvP or in the tower where you're kind of forced to use her. But when it comes to the character, which is meant for the shields and all that stuff, very, very mediocre, in my opinion at least. So you guys let me know what you guys think, right? We haven't really talked much about Kilo on the channel besides the initial showcase, hence why I kind of made this video as well. Another excuse to make a video on Kilo, right? Maybe I can do some more testing with Kilo. I don't mind I think I already am at Kilo level 5, so we could take her into like PvP. We could take her into some of these things and test her out throughout this half anniversary. You guys let me know if you guys want to see that down below in the comments. Let me know if you guys agree with me, disagree. It's fine if you don't, but as long as you enjoyed the video, if you enjoyed it, subscribe and like. I'm gonna see you guys next one. I'm out. Peace.